Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Medicine and Culture with your boy Tin and On. We're here for episode, is it episode 8 already?
Oh yeah,
Or 9? I
8.
lost count. 8, alright. Thank you guys for tuning in. There's some crazy thing that's happening right now in the world. You, Tin, you know about the recession that's coming?
Uh, I know it's coming. Why do you think that a recession is coming?
Yeah, I blame Elon Musk, man. I blame Elon Musk. He's behind all this.
Yeah.
It all started with him.
Why is that? Explain.
I I feel like he's like this evil villain. Okay. Well, first of all, everybody loved him at first, but now he's just kind of gone haywire after purchasing or after attempting to purchase Twitter. He's going crazy on social media, tweeting all these things. And then now everyone's just against him. He's totally uh made the Democrats hate him.
Yeah, because he
And
made
then
the
like all
demo.
these
Well, okay. Well, when you say everyone hates him, what do you mean by everyone?
well, I feel like he's getting a lot more hate now, right?
Now, I mean, I think it started. I think it started since he wanted to buy Twitter, and everyone became a lot more vocal about him. And he's getting a lot more hate now because he came out and explicitly said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna start voting. I voted Democrat my whole life, but I'm gonna start voting Republicans now."
But do you know the whole drama of that?
Well, what's the drama? Tell us.
So apparently, like some news outlet was trying to contact him about some sexual allegations that had happened back in like 2017 or 2018 or something. They wanted to see what he had to say about that. And he told them that, let's hold off. I'll, address it later in the day. And then that whole entire day, he starts tweeting about how all the liberals and Democrats will do anything, to kind of make you look bad and all this stuff, you know. So he's trying to like set up for this thing to leak out or this news about him and how he. Do you know about that story? So let me just tell it real quick if no one knows it. So like he has like this private jet, that he takes around the world or whatever, and I think like he has his own flight attendants and stuff. And so on one of the trips, he supposedly like flashed the flight attendant and like asked her to do like sexual favors for him, and he'll buy her a horse for it or something. So I feel like I'm just reading headlines and that's what it is, but I don't know. He hasn't like denied it. And then
But this is allegations from not even the
yeah,
source. This is a friend's
it's from a friend. Yeah,
of a source.
and like it's I know it sounds pretty like crazy and like it can be a complete lie, you know. So that's why I feel like I'm living in this world. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's the truth. Um, but anyways, I just feel like Elon Musk is definitely smart. So like what he did, obviously it works, right? Like he set it up. He's like the liberals will come after you. Like this is how they would do it, and then the story comes out, and so like he kind of seems like the person that like he saw this coming, So everyone's gonna be like, yeah, obviously this story is fake and stuff, but we don't really know, you know. Um,
Yeah, I
so he
mean,
paid
well,
two
first,
two hundred.
first of all, finish
Yeah.
up your story.
Yeah. So like I don't. So like there's like he paid like $250,000 for a non-disclosure act,
Yeah, did she take it?
right? I'm I don't know, but like
I
if
mean,
she took it, she shouldn't have
obviously,
told her friend, right? Yeah.
obviously, she took it. That's why she never came out with allegations against him in the first place.
Yeah. But then she broke it because how did her friend know? So
Yeah, so
like
now obviously because of that, she's going through a. That's why it's like a friend of the source because
yeah,
she can't come out and say it.
I don't know.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
so she definitely
that
took
means
it.
she took the money.
Right. Yeah. But so yeah, it's like you know you know I see this as like drama. You know how like when you're in high school or wherever school you're at, there's always drama. But now this is like real life drama, in the big world. And Elon Musk is like obviously like the popular rich kid. And like anything that he does is gonna create some, some drama. And this is just one of them. He's just always the headline. He's always the headline of every news story. So I just I don't know like what's the long lasting impact from this,
Well,
you
first of
know.
all, how sure are you of the timeline of the story that you told?
I have no idea. I'm just reading like literally getting my sources from Reddit and getting I'm hoping that you did some research so that you could kind of
I mean,
inform
yeah.
me.
So like my view of the story is that, as far as I know, is the like people are saying, oh yeah, he got wind of the allegation and these reporter asking about it. That's why he made those posts in the first place. But maybe it's the other way around, where he knows that he's gonna get attacked by the left side because he know the left side hates him.
Hmm.
So he's like telling everybody, oh yeah, but this is exactly how the left side usually attack people. So as soon as he
Right.
kind of tweeted that, oh yeah, I'm gonna vote for Republicans, what comes next? What's their attack? It's gonna be sexual harassment allegations.
Hmm.
Me Too, like uh, like the issue with Kevin Kavanaugh. Remember the Supreme Court, one of the Supreme Court justices, that when his
Hmm.
nomination came out, it was kind of the start for the Me Too movement, where they nominated him and then he got Me Too, and they went through this whole lengthy trial that kind of
Right.
came to the conclusion that, oh yeah, no, it's all hearsay and he's fine. But that's why he still got nominated.
I never knew the conclusion to that. So it was just
Yeah, like
it's just
he was never convicted. There's
oh
no
wow.
the judge, the jury found there's no credible evidence or anything. It's just hearsay from stories from different people. So that's
Right.
why he became the Supreme Court judge. I mean, he's on the
Mhm.
court right now. So it's not the first time that this is just like, for me. I think this is just how the left side do things. They
But
like
like
to
it's different
act.
though.
What do you mean? So literally, as soon as he say I'm gonna stop voting Republicans, he get attacked by sexual allegations.
No, no, I'm just saying it's different from like the Kavanaugh thing because there's actually like a NDA that was, you know, signed and stuff, right?
Yeah, but
So,
was there sexual harassment?
well, there was obviously something, right, that they couldn't disclose.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
mean,
saying
but
like,
we don't know what it is. I mean, she took the
yeah.
money. Obviously, it wasn't bad enough for her to come to court with it.
Hmm. Well, what my point is that like it was different from the Kavanaugh thing, right? Because there's something there. I'm not saying that the the sexual assault or whatever did take place, but because there was the NDA that was signed, you know, I'm curious what it really was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the thing
There's
is, you'll
got to
never
be
know, and
something.
there's always something that you're gonna build up in your head. It could be something really trivial and small.
Yeah.
You don't know, but people always think the worst of it because that's what people do, and people who hate Elon Musk is gonna obviously bring out the worst of it.
Hmm.
Like people, like again, this is coming. Like I still find it crazy that people. It's like personally for me, it's like you haven't learned anything with like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. Like people do this stuff is you gotta stop just jumping to conclusion right away with all just these hearsay and everything. Just because there's an NDA
No,
doesn't just because there's an NDA doesn't prove anything.
but I get what you're saying.
Literally, it could all be hearsay. This is allegedly from a friend of a source. They could be making literally every word up, and you wouldn't even know.
Right.
But like, just look at the timeline. It makes sense. Like Elon Musk, the left turn against Elon Musk. A few months later, um, they he's getting accused of sexual harassment.
But they could also be the other way around, you know?
What do you mean? Because of the sexual harassment that never came up before, but now all of a sudden it did. When did this happen?
A few years ago. Yeah. That is true though, huh? Why did they just start bringing it up now?
Like you gotta look at the timeline and see what purpose to serve. Like, are they just all of a sudden really good? Like maybe it could be the explanation that they just have really good journalists and reporters from the left side that all of a sudden, hey, you know what, we need to find something on Elon Musk, and they just come out and dig it up. That's fine. That could be an explanation for it. And Elon Musk wasn't a target before, but he is now.
Yeah. Yeah, because maybe the friend didn't wanna um because if the friend spoke up, right, earlier, then it would basically show that she went against the NDA and she disclosed it to her friend, right? So then she could be sued by Elon Musk earlier, you know. But now, like after a few years, the friend is like, well, you know, I can't, I can't let my friend go lose it more, and I need to like reveal this story to the world or whatever. And then now he decides to do it, you know, or whatever. So maybe that had happened, right?
Yeah, good.
But like my point is like I understand what you so this is like more like the Me Too stuff. Like I know people take advantage of it, obviously. Amber Heard, you know, and other cases. But like the Me Too movement began because it's actually something good, you know, like the Epstein thing, right? Like that was like he actually was committing all those crimes and stuff.
Yeah,
So like I don't think we should like completely stop it. Like, oh my god, like basically every Me Too is gonna be wrong. We have to really do our due diligence. Or I'm saying we, but like whoever the legal system is has to do the due diligence and do a really good job to investigating into this
yeah.
to see, right? So
But
I don't think we should
there's no
dismiss.
investigation to do here because she already took the 250,000. She decided not to go do anything with Elon Musk. She's like, I'm okay with whatever he said to me or even did to me. I'm gonna take 250,000. There's nothing to investigate.
Is there?
Why are they gonna investigate? Why she already took the $250,000? She can't go to court against him.
Right.
If she wanted to take him to court, she shouldn't have taken $250,000.
So this is just like to break his image,
Well, yeah. So
basically.
my point is that, like, let's say it was even true. Let's say everything that happened was true. Sure, that would make Elon Musk, kind of like a pervert and crossing boundaries.
Hmm.
And then what? What's that gonna do? Like, where are you gonna go on from there?
It's just like finding something weird about him.
An Asperger syndrome guy who, you know, like grew up. Was a stewardess.
Mm-hmm. I guess it just kind of.
You know, do like 200 hours in the was it HR department at Tesla. What are you gonna do?
It just like gives us a different perspective of it, I guess. Like in some of the people
like
that
it's literally the same thing. Like they probably just contacted this girl and be like, "Hey, you know, we want dirt on Elon Musk. So what do you have to say about it?" So they can report on him. Same thing with Joe Rogan. Have you seen the clip of? Do you know the Young Turks?
no.
Okay, well, there's this. They like again like a left wing stuff, but they went like a rant against Joe Rogan, where you know who Joe Rogan is.
Joe Rogan, yeah.
Yeah,
The,
super
the
famous
podcaster.
podcaster. Yeah, they went on like
Yeah.
this guy sank. He went on like a thing, and then he literally say like, "Oh, if you any transgender people who had sex with Joe Rogan before, like kind of like contact us so we can, you know, see why he hate transgender people so much. Maybe he's been hurt by transgender people before." And I'm just like, that's such a random and weird thing to say. Like, but
What?
that's
Okay.
legitimately like how I think like the journalists and stuff nowadays that's what they do. They just like trying to find sources to smear you if they don't like you.
But look, like I,
Like what are the
I just
purpose of it? It doesn't make there's no purpose to any of this stuff.
it's it's to like show, what Elon Musk is capable of doing, in his
What is he capable of doing that other people are not doing?
well now
You don't think
he's
Jeff Bezos can do that? Buy someone's silence with $250,000.
well I'm sure a lot of these billionaires have done lots of NDAs, right? But like I think there is a purpose to this because obviously
Or I mean, like,
somebody could
purpose
have
besides just smearing their names and making them look like, you know, bad people. Like, what else is there? Because obviously their purpose is
well,
just literally just to drag Elon's name to the through the mud.
but what if he is sexually assaulting people at work and stuff,
Okay,
right?
so how many more NDAs should he have?
Maybe people haven't been speaking up yet.
So you think after this incident, more people's gonna start coming out and be like, "Yeah, Elon Musk groped me" and stuff?
Yeah, maybe a little more dirt will
And do you
come
think
up.
they're gonna have evidence for any of the stuff?
We'll see.
And are we gonna automatically believe all these people who speaks up?
Obviously, we have to investigate, But I'm saying, like, if it was true, we shouldn't overlook it. You're just saying, like, oh, what, like, years, and now he's, growing people and stuff. Like, that shouldn't be a behavior that we're okay with, right?
I
You
mean,
know?
maybe not me and you okay with, but you know, rich people live a different lifestyle. We don't know. There's the saying that money buys you, you know, money can get you everything. Let me tell you this really weird stuff that I learned over this week. Have you heard of Instagram? They call them the Porta Potties, okay? And literally it's these
Uh-huh.
Instagram models that would get contacted by like really rich like sheiks, like Middle Eastern sheiks, to fly them to Dubai. And
Porta potty. Uh-huh.
so they literally refer to it as like Instagram porta potties because like these rich Middle Eastern guys will ask them to do like sexual favors and stuff and include like defecating on the chest and like really weird kinky stuff. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
The heck?
And all these Instagram models and stuff will do all they agree to all and then like they would do all this stuff, you know? Like if you guys on Instagram And you see these Instagram models flying to Dubai and like flying private jets and stuff. These are all paid for by those, rich sugar daddies and Middle Eastern sheiks with a bunch of money. So there's been like a bunch of instances where people kind of troll them through like WhatsApp. They like send them pretend to be Middle Eastern daddies and be like, yeah, like, uh, I want you to do this and this, and I'll pay you $50,000, and I'll fly you out and do this. And then these Instagram models respond and be like, yeah, I'll do any of this stuff. So essentially, the common thread is that literally they would do everything, anything, for a certain amount of money. If you have money, they will do it. Okay, and there's like clips of this one like ridiculous clips. This one Instagram model that she literally she got trolled by a troll account, but she was stupid enough to kind of post it. But so he kind of asked for like hey, like a video contract. So she actually recorded herself, sent it to him, and then this get posted and get blown up. But she's literally sit there and she's like, oh yeah, my name is this, and this is my passport and a contract that this person's gonna fly me to Dubai, and then for $50,000, we can sleep together, and then he's gonna lick hummus off my feet, and I'm gonna sleep with his 13-year-old brother, like underage stuff, because it's Dubai. But it's like these people will do anything for money. So my point is that there's like a world that people live in that me and you might not understand about, because money speaks, money talks. So yeah, like
Right.
we might think it's weird that they do this kind of stuff. Like for them, it's fine. Like, is that okay? We don't think it's okay. But if they do it with those kind of girls, I don't think those girls will care. I'm not saying that
Right.
that stewardess was those kind of girls, but I'm just saying it's a different lifestyle they live.
and like it's crazy to me. So that's why these type of
Yeah, it was
stories.
crazy. When I learned about this stuff, I was like, holy smoke! But it makes sense to me. I can understand it. I see why.
Yeah,
I don't doubt it. I believe that happens.
maybe not exactly how they said it, but like I'm sure that stuff like this always happens. For these rich people, they can get away with a lot of things.
Yeah, or just like even prostitution and stuff. Like we can't fathom it. But like let's say in Southeast Asia, and like where it's like lawlessness and there's like no age, even though there is age restriction stuff, but there's people who come all over the world to go to these places to have, to sleep with like underage like people, and it will be a normal
Mm,
lifestyle for them, like people who live over. But we don't understand it because we're not immersed in that kind of culture and that lifestyle. Am I saying it's okay? No, I think it's totally wrong. But for those kind of people, they don't care.
damn, man. I didn't know about these scams. Well, they're not really scams, but they're like,
I mean, those girls get trolled, but it's actually real. Like, it actually happens all the time. But anyway, back to the Elon Musk thing. I'm like, look, the girl, she decided to take $250,000 and not press
mhm,
charges or anything. So for me, that's like that's it. You're not gonna do anything about it. There's nothing you can do. Say what you want about Elon Musk, about his character and stuff, but I'm sure he's not the only rich guy that does this kind of stuff. And it doesn't even sound that bad, like based on the story. Honestly,
not that bad. What do you mean?
like all
I
the other
think
guys
it's
that do stuff.
okay. Like, yeah, but does he have like kids and a wife? I don't really
He has
know.
like multiple wives and multiple kids.
Oh, wait.
He used to date Amber Heard, right?
I just know his kid's name is like XYZ or something.
Yeah, I think that's like one kid was his like first wife. But I think he's like have another wife now or something.
Damn, man. Yeah, but Why I think this has to do stuff with the recession, because I think it's just kind of uh his stocks tanked after like the whole story was released, and obviously he his stock plays a huge role in like the tech industry. So like all the other tech stocks and everything is just plummeting.
But why was the stock having to do with Microsoft, Apple, or anything else?
Like
What
like
does Tesla stock have to do with Apple and Microsoft
it's
and,
just the tech,
and Samsung?
like tech. It's just like the tech industry in general.
Well, the problem is you can't blame Elon Musk because it's not just Tesla that's going down. Every other stock is dropping.
Yeah. No, but like it's like what I'm saying, I know everything is dropping, right?
And
But
then
like the headline was just like propagated more, you know? It makes people panic about stocks that they have been holding for like Tesla, you know?
okay,
Like obviously
so
everyone's
if they're
selling
gonna
off
sell,
right
but
now.
the point is they're gonna sell Tesla stock. What does that have to do with Apple and Microsoft? Why would they sell Apple and Microsoft?
It just propagates selling off more. Like any like stocks is all like psychological,
Okay, so
right? Like
I think you like more well versed in stock stuff.
yeah.
So
It's just
so
more
you think that
it's just
because
more
Tesla stock is dropping, everyone's like, oh, you know what? I think it's crashing, so let's sell.
yeah, it's all psychological. It's like, Tesla was well, is it's like looking at the S&P, I that's like the ETF for like all the tech stuff.
Yeah, but
So
you
like Tesla is a huge,
that's you assuming that everyone is stupid because smart investor know not to buy high and sell low. Isn't that the common phrase that we use?
Mhm.
People will lose money because they
Yeah,
buy high and they sell low.
yeah.
So usually,
But that's why I'm saying like in
smart
a
investor they will hold. They don't
yeah,
sell. Just they
everyone
don't
are
get scared by those
investors,
stuff.
right?
So
Yeah,
but what you're saying is that you're assuming that the average, most of them, stock investors are stupid.
I'm I'm saying yes. Some people are just
Some are you saying on average
psychologically.
more than the average, or just some
I don't
less
know.
than
I'm just
50%
estimating. I think more. I think the majority
of stupid investors?
are more. Yeah,
And that could be true. I don't know.
I'm not sure. That'll be a good thing to look up. But
No, see, I disagree. Just because COVID closing down the market had an effect. I think Joe Biden's economic plan or whatever, printing trillions of dollars, increasing inflation, definitely didn't help. The Federal Reserve starting to increase interest rate again is not helping either.
mhm,
So I think it's only a matter of time for this recession hit. I think
yeah,
I saw on a white collar investor blog someone posted like a cyclical like graph that kind of predicts that, oh yeah, this is for the past like three recession. I forgot. I should have said that graph. That was a really good graph when I looked at it. But it kind of predicts like, oh, this is what happened like 10 months leading up to the last three recessions, and from what I remember,
mhm,
it's exactly what's happening now. So they're predicting the recession's gonna happen like 2022, 2023. That's why I agree with you. Yeah, I think a recession's coming, but I don't think it's because of Elon Musk.
right. No, I'm not saying like he's the sole reason. I'm just saying like just like the it's just like a headline,
I
Like
think
it
I
just
think
like kind of
I think it's a stupid headline because I think the best headline would be Joe Biden caused the recession.
what's the best headline?
The better headline would be that Joe Biden is causing the recession. He's the one calling all the economic policies.
Yeah, and I mean That's
come on. You really think printing like $13 trillion was the best
no.
move?
But like Joe Biden isn't exciting. Like we know that he's not doing anything to help the economy. It's just like I I think it's more exciting to look at Elon Musk and see what he's doing. And you know, it's it's funny to say that.
So you think Elon Musk causing dramas, causing recession?
I'm not saying it's exactly correlated, but like I think it's a lot more interesting to see how Tesla and how Elon Musk's company is like how it's affecting the recession, or like the recession is affecting Tesla. You know, obviously he knows about economics and see what he's doing. Like he's literally buying Twitter during a recession. You know, what if he has to sell? I don't know. I'm just like making predictions. I have no knowledge in this.
Yeah,
So like,
we both
how
don't.
does he? How is he funding? You know, this purchase, this acquisition of Twitter. If his Tesla stocks are dropping, is he the one selling? You know, um, obviously he had enough funds for it, but we don't know where those are, and have has the funds decreased now because his stock literally is like how it was like a year, 2 years ago or something, a year ago. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to see. I guess I'm just like more interested in Elon Musk than Joe Biden, whatever he's doing, because I know it's not really helping.
Yeah, see, but
Yeah.
that's what they're trying to do, though. They're trying to. When I say they, I mean like this media, because the media is biased, right? I told you this
Hmm.
before. I believe the media is super biased. Uh, and the best way you can look at that, you just got to see who you can critique or not. And I think the media is just like your attention's been shifted to Elon Musk because they don't want you to see how everything else is falling apart. They don't want you to see how, especially Joe Biden's policy has kind of destroyed the economy.
Hmm.
And they're like, oh yeah, just keep focusing on Elon Musk and focusing on this other stuff, shootings and stuff. Well, you're kind of missing the big point. Baby formula shortage, gas prices, inflation rate off the roof.
All I see is Elon Musk. Literally, all everywhere on my
Yeah,
feed is about him, man.
that's their goal achieved.
Yeah, I'm not really paying attention to Joe Biden at all. Yeah, I'm just being brainwashed left and right, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know how this feels.
yeah,
It feels crappy. But yeah, I feel like the best time right now, if I had money, I would buy. Everything is on sale. Like you said,
yeah. So
buy low, sell
investing
high.
advice I learned was that, well, somebody said before, time in the market is always better than timing the market. So studies shows that if you just consistently put in money on buying stocks, with like index funds, where even just stocks over time, you end up making more money than if you try to time it. And yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes you're gonna buy high, but sometimes you're gonna buy low also. So this kind of averages out. And the good thing about that is usually you end up doing better than if you, because yeah. So let's say you're really good at speculating, and you can kind of like sell a good time and buy in a good time. Then sure, maybe you make a bit more money. But in the off chance that you don't, and you do bad decision and you sell because you're scared, and you make emotional buys, you end up losing money or not making as much profit as you could have. So for the average people, where you're not going to be investing a lot of time into this, like for me at least, I'm going to be working a lot, seeing my patients. I'm not going to have time to sit around watching the markets and try to predict what's going to be. So the best way for the average people for you to invest your money is to just consistently buy in.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, let's say when you do have recession, it's actually a good thing that you have a recession for people who have money, because you can buy everything at a lower price, right? Like there's a bear market and there's a bull market, and we've been going through a bull market for the past I think 10 years. So everyone's been making a lot of good money off of investments, and everything is cyclical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have a bear market, everything's gonna slow down again. So really, it makes sense. There's a recession gonna happen. I don't know how bad it's gonna be. Hopefully, it's not too bad, but it's gonna. There's gonna be a recession. It's always the case.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, buy low. It's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
This is a good time to buy in.
Speaking of this recession, man. So like, it just all kind of plays a role too. Like, have you heard of the baby formula shortage?
Yeah,
Pretty big right now.
that's not because of the
It's
recession.
kind of, it's not, but like, it's just another story that you're like, oh damn, man, the world's going
Yeah, it's crazy because
haywire right
my
now.
friend have a kid, and then he's been freaking out too. He's
Yeah.
asking me to help find baby powder and stuff. Like he's lived. I went back to visit him in Michigan, and I didn't have anything in Michigan. His wife in Cali, so she couldn't find anything here. She asked him to find stuff over there, and he's been looking there around the area. It's just all over the nation.
Pretty. Is he?
What's that? You kind of broke off saying?
Yeah. Do you have enough supply to last?
Yeah,
Or
I
like,
think he
what's
said
going on with that?
he has a few more weeks only. I don't know. I don't know what they're
What
gonna do.
the heck?
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. Say oh yeah, just breastfeed your kids. I'm like, you can't. Not everyone breastfeed their kids, and I was kind of like, yeah, you can breastfeed your kids, breastfeed your kids, but I was talking to him, and he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, so usually for me, that's my understanding in the beginning. It was just yeah, people who can't breastfeed, if girls get breast augmentation, right, they don't get breastfeed their kids. But usually everyone else can. But when I've been telling him, it's actually breastfeeding your kids is actually really a lot of work, and it's very bothersome and cumbersome. So even then, even if the woman can breastfeed the kids, sometimes it's just better to formula feed.
Yeah. But we always breastfeeding though, if they can do it,
Right. I mean,
because
you
there's
can
so many
the
more benefits to
breast milk for
breastfeeding.
babies is gonna be I think study shows that babies who breastfeed have on average higher IQ points than babies who don't formula.
Yeah, I believe that. So, but so did you read up on this? Like, what actually caused the shortage, or multiple factors, right? There's a recall
I think the biggest factor for
of
me, that as
a
far as I know, is the recall. Yeah,
right.
yeah. I think the recall, and it happened to I think 2 or 3 of the major company that was providing baby formula. So that took out more than half of the player in the market.
Damn.
And the problem is that this happened months ago. It's not just recently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the government's fault for not kind of stepping
Why?
in and importing, do something about it.
Wait, if it happened months ago, why is it is this coming to surface now? Panic?
The recall happened months ago, not a shortage.
Oh,
But if you're gonna recall more than half of the major supply of baby formula, what else are you gonna expect?
They just weren't
This
like
is just past
replaced.
this new like I think like $12 million thing for the baby formula stuff, but I don't know what that's gonna do. Like, did you read about what they're gonna do for that?
Joe Biden doing something. I just read something about like how there's like military planes stuff to get more formula from other countries. I don't know. Is that right?
What's that?
Like how's the government dealing with this shortage?
So they just passed a bill. I don't know. I think it's passed already, but that's why I'm asking you. Like, they're gonna give money to, but I don't know what they're doing it. I don't know what they're using it for.
Right.
It's called Access to Baby Formula Act of 2022.
Wait. Okay. I don't know why, but you're cut off.
Uh,
Your
your
audio is cutting in and
your
out.
audio is off too. I don't know. Is it my Wi-Fi or your Wi-Fi?
Could be my Wi-Fi. No, mine is fine. Yeah, so that's why I couldn't really hear what you were saying. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So you're saying they passed a bill or like
Yeah, so they passed a bill called Access to Baby Formula Act of 2022.
mhm.
I don't really know what they plan to do with that. Like, I don't really know what that's gonna do.
No, that's good. It's a good question to ask because like you brought this up in our previous podcast. You should always make sure where your money's going when donating to things.
Yeah, like just because it's
What
named something
exactly
doesn't
being
mean,
used to.
like, oh yeah, just because it's named something doesn't mean it's gonna do exactly that thing. There's always stuff that they add in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like obviously this is like out of like if you had a kid, right? This is out of your realm. Like you can't do anything. There's shortage, like a bigger level, a large scale. But like for you and your baby personally, like your kids, right, need some food. So like I think having ways to get supplies to last you, for a good amount is something we need to like talk about. And I guess, did some research, and I think the AAP, American, was it Associated Pediatrician? I don't know if they've like announced or like had any guidelines of how to you know how to feed your kids. What are the alternative methods and things like that, and what not to do. So I just there's this post on Reddit, guy navigating the formula shortage. I thought is really nice guide. So essentially, she like breaks it down um, to like different age groups. So, like under 4 months, infants need breast milk or infant formula. There's no, so that's really crucial. Under 4 months, there's no other alternatives but breast milk or infant formula. Uh, she just goes into like different infant formulas, like based for soy based and other plant based infant formula. They're not those. There's the hydrolyzed and amino acid formula. Um, there's the infant formula for premature babies. Um, and then there, she put some guidelines as a link how breastfeeding mothers can increase their supply. Some things that they can do. And the important part, because like obviously when you have no supplies, you seek for alternative. alternative thing. So like make sure that she wants to make sure that don't make any homemade formula, because it's dangerous. Diluting infant formula is also very dangerous. And then using formula that isn't within the range, the age group is also very dangerous because then you can overfeed them. It's more calories than the toddler, and toddler is like, you know, there's a huge difference in that. So I think that just going through this, so if anyone has kids, baby newborns, like should be really helpful. But like I think there should be like an official thing from like the AAP or something,
Yeah.
just to like address this. I don't know if there is one, but I think why like this pediatrician is trying to like stand up and try to do something. Uh, I don't know if like they're backed up by anything, so that's also, but like at least it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what his or her and this doctor's goal was to like some, because the AP hasn't really said anything. So that's why she started. She was like, I'm just very disappointed at the lack of leadership from the professional medical societies in helping parents safely feed their infants, because it's scary. I've seen like I've seen like clips and stuff on the internet, like this parents like hoarding and fighting over baby formula and stuff. And I totally understand. Like it's not the same as like Black Friday shopping. Oh my God, these guys are greedy. They're literally trying to feed their baby. It's like, what would you do to your baby? Like I literally would do the same. Like so, so I think hopefully there's we can hopefully we can see the end of this. Otherwise, this is just one of those other things that like adds to the recession. I'm just thinking ahead, and I'm like, dude, if this is like a really bad recession, like the Great Depression, like this is just one of those things that they're gonna add on to. Oh my God, there was like a baby formula shortage. Musk thing is there. The interest rate hikes are increasing. Joe Biden printing more money. Like all I see being, you know, yeah, man, crazy time.
Yeah.
Um, and then like, have you heard of like the monkeypox? I've been seeing that around a lot. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I'm seeing it too.
yeah,
What do you think?
it's not gonna be a pandemic and thing. I just want to like let people know that it's not gonna be like a pandemic kind of thing. Obviously, it sounds pretty scary, right? But I haven't seen the hospital that I'm rotating at right now have monkeypox. So
Has there even been any cases in California? I mean, not California, but in the United States yet?
yeah, I think there's one in New York. Yeah,
There are cases in the United States?
yeah, there have been cases in state. Just a day ago, based on the Guardian, New York City resident test positive. But it's actually just like it's not smallpox. It's like a virus, right? It's pustular things, spot pustular things around your body. Um, but I don't know, like where did it from? I think in that like Africa, like the African region, right? Um, but how did it get here? I haven't really done much. I just saw that like literally minutes before we started this podcast. I was hoping that you saw
I
something that
see
you
it
could
floating
tell me.
around, but I'm not gonna. I don't know, man. Like, Met Twitter for me is I feel like there's a lot of fear mongering, like physician just kind of going on there too. I don't know if they
No,
like
for sure,
I don't know if
definitely.
they purposely do it or they just. I'm gonna give them the benefit of doubt, and just say that maybe yeah they just kind of dare to like, oh hey, watch out for this stuff and be careful and stuff. But like, a lot of what I see it's just like really fear mongering stuff. It can be fear mongering, and so when I
Mm.
see these kind of stuff, I kind of just glance away. I don't take it to heart. I see people claiming,
I see.
claiming people getting like COVID related appendicitis or like pulmonary edema and stuff, and I'm like, no, that's it's like anecdotal and there's no there's no basis in the and there's no not even like case report or like maybe case report, but like there's no study that shows COVID causing appendicitis or like pulmonary edema. So,
Right.
or even the thing with the hepatitis in children, and they say like the people are saying, oh hey, but if it's COVID related, yeah, that's why we need to vaccinate the children. I was like, no, we don't know if it's COVID related or not. Like
Right.
you're just making speculation. There's no
Well,
data.
yeah. Wait, so they were actually, because I heard about that. There's like this outbreak of like hepatitis in like kids.
Yeah,
That's
yes,
that's
yeah. There's and they were wondering why.
hmm
And a lot of people are saying it's COVID related. But but from
everything has to be COVID.
but from like reliable resources that I've learned from, and again, I don't know. I'm just a medical student, but I think the more like a explanation that makes sense more to me because so it's usually adenovirus, the thing that cause hepatitis in children, and they're saying that it's because of the like the lack of socialization of the children because of school closing and not interacting with other
Oh,
children, so you don't have this exposure to adenovirus when they're younger,
hmm
so they're not building up this immunity to adenovirus. So that once they encounter these strands, they're getting hepatitis where they weren't before. So that's the explanation that I'm going. For me, it makes sense. Stop blaming it on COVID.
it's so easy to just blame it on COVID,
I
but
mean,
like,
everything's associated with COVID. You can say anything.
no, Patty was telling me um that she had a patient that had hepatitis, a pediatric patient,
Yeah.
hepatitis. They actually biopsied it and it came back like autoimmune hepatitis. So that was pretty crazy. Definitely not COVID. So, okay. I wanted to like kind of talk a little bit about, you know, uh, just some data and statistics of PAs and NPs, but I, I think we should save that for another right?
I
But
mean,
I'm really
do you have
curious
data
about.
statistic for that or what?
No, I want you to tell me because
Oh,
I've been dying to hear it because like,
okay.
oh boy, there's just so much. It's just like happened to be in like the hospital that I'm rotating at. I feel like
Are
it
you working
happened.
with PA and NPs over there?
No, but like we have consults from, and like specialty NPs and PAs, like cardiology and nephro and stuff.
Hmm.
I anecdotal, but like, gosh, their notes aren't really good.
It's not very good.
No, it's so hard to follow. No, literally. Oh man, you're gonna you're gonna be working there, so I don't want to talk smack, but
Yeah.
literally, man, like we were consulting cardio, right? But we've been like talking to a NP the whole time.
Hmm.
Obviously, they're being overlooked by the cardiologist, but like it just I think it makes it's easier for the cardiologist, obviously, but like on our side, it's like we don't like it. Why can't we just speak to him directly? You know.
Right.
So eventually, when we weekend service was the different. So we actually spoke to a cardiology attending, you know, and like he gave us the recs and stuff. Like patient did like extremely better. I don't know. This is just, but I'm just like, oh god, why can't we just talk to him like from in the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
So and it's we're so clear and succinct, you know, like do this, you know, if this happens, then do this. But like you'll see it, man, once you.
No, I think
There's a lot of NPs, the PAs here, man.
yeah. I don't think it's not just there either. I think it's
Yeah,
utilized a lot now too everywhere. Everywhere I rotated at, especially in like the specialists like cardiology, nephro, um, even ICU too. I think emergency medicine, GI.
oh
You
yeah.
see a lot. They don't call PA. They don't call them NP and PAs in it. They call I think it's called like advanced assistant something practitioner, something. It's like
Hmm.
AAPN, so like AARP or something.
Hmm.
So yeah, but we can talk about it. Let's go through it. You know, and we get too biased. We get biased. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
One thing I'll say right now that one thing I noticed is that, based on my friends and stuff who are in like PA school, it looks like they don't like what I've seen. They don't write notes like we do, like when they in clinical. Like what as far as I know, because when we see patients, we actually gotta write like a whole H&P or like even just a progress note every day and come with
Yeah.
assessment plan notes and stuff.
Hmm.
They don't do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that explains things now.
yeah. I think they don't focus on that note writing aspect as much as we do. I don't know why. I feel like since they do pretty much the same thing as us, obviously why they don't just do that too. And
Hmm.
it could just be certain rotation, so I don't know. But as of right now, that's what I've heard from my friends who are in PA school.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let's say so this all started. This is why I kind of came to it in the first place. So there was an op-ed, so opinion article on Medscape, and this is by an author. So the name of the article is "PA Name Change, Bad for Patients in the Profession." So you know about the PA name change, right?
Yeah, the advanced medical
No.
practitioner. No, that's
So
the change.
before it was physician assistant, but they passed the thing now. So it hasn't been applied everywhere yet, but it has been passed, where it's now going to be physician associate.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this article is back then, right? I just saved it. I haven't looked at it since. But there's this author. I want to read this book too. So you want to read this book? Let me know. We read it together. But she wrote the
Hmm.
book called Patients at Risk. So I don't
Hmm.
know what the book's about, but I think essentially the book talks about she's kind of going through like data and stuff, and kind of talks about why NPs and PAs might not be a great benefit to patients, especially if you just kind of want to let them practice autonomously.
Right.
I could be wrong about this, but I think that's what the book talks about. Uh, so she wrote this op-ed and she said, "Oh yeah, the PAs were angry with me because I lumped them in together with nurse practitioners." Okay, and then she goes on
Mm.
to talk about how she really liked the PA's model. So you know the difference between the NP and the PA models, right? Or no?
No.
So for PAs, it's actually very similar. Like the PA model is very similar to our MD model, like medical school, except everything just like cut in half. So they spend 1 year in didactic, they will spend 1 year in clinical training, and then they come out and practice. For us, we do 2 years in didactic, then we do 2 years of clinical, and then we also have residency, but we also practice at the time, right?
Yeah.
But I think the cool thing about PA is that they actually follow the MD model. So everything they learn pretty much the same thing at us. Like my friends who in PA school actually use like sketchy and like micro stuff. Like everything they learn is all aligned with us, and then they rotate through the same like experience with us, like rotations. They see patients,
Yeah.
they practice the same science. They practice evidence-based training. Not to say that NPs don't do that, but the model that NPs has is different. They don't do the same like didactic years clinical training like we do. So for NPs, usually is they are nurse first. They are registered nurses first. They get a certain amount of hours, and then they would do a certain amount of. I think you can do online, but maybe like classroom training too. But they would do a certain amount of hours for learning, and then they'll take a test, and then they become nurse practitioners.
Hold up. What?
So the model is different.
That's totally different, dude.
Yeah. Yes, but for PA school, like they go through the same thing. They gotta do like, at least 2,000 hours of clinical experience before graduation. And apparently, for here, she's comparing to the close quote haphazard training and 500 clinical hours required for NPs today. So apparently, NPs only require 500 clinical hours compared to PAs who require 2,000 hours of clinical experience.
Oh my god.
And then she goes on to say that unlike NPs who try to get independent practice since 1980s, the PAs have always been close allies with physicians, generally working in a one-to-one supervision model. Start off like she's like, yeah, actually I really like PA, but the problem is that now recently, she say that the PAs is try to be kind of like become the NP where they're trying to be more autonomous. So that starts with why they changed the name in the first place. Instead of being physician assistant, it's going to be changed to physician associate. Okay. And she go on to talk about it. I'm not going to finish the rest of the article for you. So,
Wait.
according to what she's... So, right now, NPs can practice independently in certain states. PAs cannot, except for in one state. So in 2019, in North Dakota, it's actually passed a legislation that let PA practice independently.
North Dakota. Wow.
North Dakota. So that's the one state. Okay. So that's just a start. Who knows what's going to happen next? Okay. So the problem is that, the argument for, letting PAs and NPs practice independently was that, more access to, it will let patient have more access to providers, and you can provide care to the patients better, right?
Yeah.
And it should decrease the cost because now the patients can see doctors and stuff right away. They won't have chronic diseases that's going to increase the cost. So it actually should lower costs for healthcare. So that was the argument for letting NPs and PAs practice independently.
Right.
So the American Medical Association came out with a article with data in March 17, 2022. So this is really recent. I think last 2 months ago.
Yeah, 2 months.
So the title is Amid Doctor Shortage, NPs and PAs Seem Like a Likely Fix. The data's in. Nope. So let's see what this found. So they found the examination cost data for the South Mississippi system. So this is one healthcare system in South Mississippi. Reviewed that care provided by non-physician providers working on their own patient panel, so it's more expensive than care delivered by doctors. So it actually costs more money. So essentially what they did was over the past 15 years, they tried to expand the care team with the use of the advanced practice providers, so like PAs and NPs.
Right.
So because the shortage of physician was so dire due to retirements, massive patient size, and lack of medical students entering primary care residencies, they allow advanced practice practitioners, PAs and NPs, to function with separately primary care panels, side by side with the collaborating physicians. So they have their own patient panel. Okay.
Yeah.
And they found that the results are consistent and clear. By allowing PAs and NPs to function with independent panels under physician supervision, we fail to meet our goals in the primary care settings of providing patients with an equivalent value-based experience. All right, so let's get into the detail of what they found. So they found that the per month spending was $43 higher for patients whose primary health professional was a non-physician instead of a doctor. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this translates to $10.3 million more in spending annually if all patients were followed by advanced practice practitioners. And then when you do a risk adjusted for the patient complexity, so because usually PAs and NPs see like less complex patients, so you do a risk adjusted cost for this, you find that the difference was actually $119 per member per month. So it'll be a total of $28.5 million annually. So more than almost triple annually.
Right.
Okay. So it's funny is that they actually didn't set out to do the study to find like if it like decrease the cost. They just kind of, because remember that goal was to like give the patients like a good experience and good healthcare
Yeah.
thing, but throughout this experience they actually found the cost to be like way higher too. So so they like we didn't set out to do a scientific per se, but it was more like an observational experience. Okay. Yes, they said.
Wait,
What?
wait. Before you move
Yeah.
on, so so this study wasn't actually to dismiss the claims that the cost of care will be less. Their goal of doing this study was just to to show what like. So that's why I'm confused. Like, can I pull up the study? Like, what can I search so I could follow along with you?
Yeah, let me send you a link.
Yeah, because it seemed like this study like exactly just like dismisses all the other claims that NPs and PAs have made
Mm-hmm.
to increase their scope, which is like, oh, I see. Okay. Okay, go on. So then they found this and like kind of observed the price. And oh wow.
Yeah, so they found that apparently the additional cost, why it cost more, had to do with a combination of several factors, and that included more ordering of tests, more referrals to specialists, and more emergency department utilization. They said the co-author of the study said 4 of the 5 top highest cost providers were actually nurse practitioners.
Hmm.
Okay. And they actually saw that in fact, patients who saw a non-doctor as their primary care provider had higher rates of emergency department use than patients without a PCP. So when they compare it to patients, even patients who doesn't go regularly to a doctor who doesn't have a family doctor to see regularly,
Hmm.
the patients who saw PAs or NPs used the emergency department more than them.
Okay.
Data shows that physicians perform better on 9 out of 10 quality measure, with double-digit differences in flu and pneumococcal vaccination rates. And physicians also had higher average patient satisfaction scores across 6 domains, which is kind of
How
contradicts
many domains?
6 domains.
Oh.
Which kind of contradicts like the fact that, oh yeah, like, nurse practitioner usually say, heart of a nurse but the brain of a doctor. So in the case that they like more empathetic toward the patients, and but
Hmm.
that it seems like patients were more satisfied with physicians for some reason.
Yeah.
So after the study, they redesign it so that the model so that all patients will actually see is under a primary care doctor, and no one sees a non-physician exclusively. So they will alternate the visit with a supervising physician, and then maybe the next visit could be with an NP or PA or something. But they will also always be under that doctor.
Wow. Well, see, I mean, like at the end of the day, right? It's about the patient's care, and I think just this data just shows so so obvious. Like, but like I understand though, man. Like, I I talked to the nurses and stuff. Like, I've lived with a nurse that was training to be an NP, right? And like, well, two actually. One, his heart is actually there. Like, he actually wants to do more. He wants to like he likes the science also. So he wanted to be more of a, I guess, a more of like a patient advocate to like someone that he's taking care of, other than just being that nurse. And then meanwhile, the other guy that I live with, he just did it for the money. He's like, oh, I just take the online classes and like I just have to pass this test and then bam, I'm an NP. I get paid significantly more. It just seemed like he didn't really care
Yeah.
about the patient. I should have asked him more about it. And I was too busy with my rotation, but like I just kind of talked to him a little bit about that. It just seemed like something that you could just do to upgrade your salary,
Right.
and that's such a danger. Like it's you're not you don't have to like really care about your patients. You just getting this certificate and then you just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Basically, this is so dangerous. And
See,
yeah, go ahead.
finish your thought.
No, and that's why I want to know, like, is all this data is nice, right? But I want to know, like, with amongst the MPs themselves, like, how many of them actually want their independent practice? Like, is it like the majority of them want this movement, or is it just like 10% of the minority want this, and then everyone else is like, oh, these guys are weird for wanting this, but you know, like I want to know, like, what's the breakdown? Like, is it?
Well, I mean, I think it's got to be big enough for them to actually change legislations, and because they just have really strong lobbying power. It doesn't just happen because they want it to. They spend a lot of
Yeah.
time and money talking to, congressmen and talking to the politicians to get
Hmm.
these changes passed. So
It means they
I don't
have
think it's a
more.
small 10%. I think
It
I
means
think it's a bigger number than that.
a bigger number. It means this is probably just me
But
making
you're
up
right.
things.
But I think you're right in that, yeah. Not like I know that a lot of my friends who are PAs actually don't want to practice independently.
Yeah.
They realize their limitations, and like they lack like the training to be responsible for the patient's lives and other risks that comes with it. It's a heavy risk. So yeah,
Exactly.
not all of them.
So
So it could
I
just
just
be
want.
like a minor minority that's just really vocal about it and speak very loudly.
Yeah.
But then that comes down to someone gotta stop them, right? How come we're not speaking back against it? How come the other
hmm
people are not speaking back against it?
Yeah. Like I saw this firsthand when I was working at an optometry office before medical school. Like the there was a optometry student, right, doing his rotation at the office, and the doctor, they were just talking about, just how optometry school's going. And then like he brought up, he was like, oh, I want to open up my own practice and like do like laser surgery, like basically laser surgery. And she was just like, what? It like she literally was just like, what are you talking about? You can't do that as an optometrist, you know? And he was like, and he was trying to argue that no, this is like very easy. Like we we could do just as much as like an ophthalmologist can do. And then she was just so mind-boggling. He was like, no, you understand there's like a difference.
Wait,
But
who's this? That's not an ophthalmologist?
no, this is optometry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, optometry. Who are you talking about?
This is just like a student that was rotating
Oh, a
there, like an
student was rotating.
optometry student.
Optometry student, okay.
And he was just kind of talking with the doctor there, right? How like, oh, he would love to do like LASIK, or not LASIK, laser eye surgery. Is it called LASIK? No, that's I'm getting confused because LASIK is the loop diuretic, but um,
No, yeah, you're right. LASIK.
yeah, LASIK, yeah, LASIK,
Not like six.
La-
LASIK.
LASIK, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was just so confused, like that he even had that idea in his mind. And then so the student was telling the doctor that, oh yeah, like there's like an optometry lobbying group that's actually trying to get, you know, their trying to expand their practice to like surgery, so that they could do this to make money, basically.
Yeah.
Um, but obviously the doctor was like, like this is way out of your realm. Like even she knew that, and she's been practicing for like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she thinks this is like so dangerous and all this stuff. That there's a lot of risk to this, but like, so my point is like, I think it's like the younger, the younger generation. They want to make differences, in especially the career that they've invested all their time in.
Yeah.
Um, it's just that young generation mentality. So I just thought it was interesting how like the difference. She's more traditional, she's conservative, and she understands the risk
Yeah.
of expanding the scope. So this happens in optometry, probably happens in other fields too. Not just medicine. So
See,
yeah.
my concern is that you want to practice autonomously. I feel like you gotta take the same exam as it's gonna be a national board exam as everyone else. Because
Mhm.
what's a board exam is to ensure you have the at least competency to practice medicine.
Yeah.
You know that in California and New York, they don't even have the NPs. Don't even need um, to take the national certification. Literally, all you need is just pass an NP program and be called an NP, and that's it to practice. They don't other state, yes, depending on states, depending, then yes, you need to get. But in California and New York, which is like a lot NPs,
hmm
you don't even need to take like a board exam.
Well,
That's crazy. I just found that out.
wait.
Anyway,
So they just need to finish their program.
yeah, I just
But why is the program not having any? They have their own test though, right?
Sure, but it's not a national,
But it's not. Yeah,
level kind of thing.
it's not
Anyway, so my point,
standardized. Yeah.
autonomously, if you want to practice autonomous, you gotta, let's say, because like, you, think about patient care, right? The worst MD, like how bad is the worst MD compare? Maybe the level between, let's say, like you were talking about your friend, like who's two friends who are NPs or studying to be NP, like one is gonna be really good. Yeah, so maybe
Hmm.
the top NP is gonna be actually even like better than like the low tier ND who doesn't really care, just kind of want to do their job, which I don't mind. Some people passion is not really medicine; they just kind of went into it for the money. They just want to
Hmm.
get a good job and make cush salary. They don't really care about the patient that much. They still gonna practice it, don't get sued, and make sure the patient doesn't die. That's fine.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, maybe like he might be even better than a low tier MD, maybe even mid MD, like the top NPs or PAs even, right? Because
Yeah.
I know PA students are very very smart. Like my wife, who is like an IP, I'm pretty sure she can be a better practitioner than I am probably. She's super smart and she's like
Hmm.
have super good bedside manner, which is fine with me. I don't care. I mean, as long as the patient get good outcome, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do the best I can. But then you gotta look at what about the lowest tier NPs compared to the lowest. So then my point is that you can compare the lowest tier ND to the lowest tier NP and see what the differences are.
Right.
Because both are practicing medicine, both are seeing patients. As of this point, autonomously. So I don't know what the study is, but like I personally feel like yeah, there might be a really big gap there, and that gap is where patients are gonna die and patients are gonna suffer.
Hmm.
So if you want to practice autonomously, take the same board exam as us.
I'm very curious how they would do. That reminds me of like this one blog that I read, or I think it was a Reddit post. This was like I think like an attending neurologist or something. I forgot what subspecialty, but he's been practicing like 10 plus years as attending. He was just like, oh, he was very curious one day to see how he would do on his MCAT. He actually took the MCAT again, which is insane because the MCAT is like not really what he's practicing.
Right.
It's more like just science knowledge. And he wanted to see how he would score versus like the current, class pre-meds and stuff. Um, so obviously you can guess how he scored. He failed.
Yeah, I would fail too.
I don't think MCAT was hard. But like he was brave enough to just show that like um standardized tests isn't always the best to like I guess predict how well someone would do in their specialty, right? So like I know what you mean by the standardized test, like they should take the same as us, right? But like as long as you really put in the work and like in what you're doing and like learn from your mistakes and actually care about the patient, I think you would do just fine even if you fail or you don't do as well on like board exam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
But I get
But
I
just
get what you mean
just
though.
just lower
Yeah.
the criteria for the board exam. But there's gotta be some safeguard there in place for you to assess the
Yeah.
quality of the training.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I get you though. It's there for a reason. It's like a safeguard, for
Yeah, I
sure.
used to be against standardized exam too, but I come to realize the importance of it.
Yeah. No,
Like
no,
back
this
then
is a
when I was a
good.
kid, as a student, I was like, yeah, man, screw the SAT, screw the ACT. And then when they passed the thing, we're like, oh yeah, now colleges won't look at SAT and ACT. I was like, oh yes, yeah, score. I mean, at that point, I was already, past my college years. I was like, yeah, good for the kids. But now that I think back on it, and if I have kids that need to go to school and stuff, I think that's a terrible decision to not look at SAT and ACT score.
Yeah.
Same thing with step one.
Right. Oh man. You know, you step 3 or is there step 4? Oh God, I didn't even like look past anything like that. Is there step 4, right?
No, there's no step 4. I think after step 3, then you just gotta take the board for your specialty.
Uh, do you get like a score? Or is it just like a pass or no pass?
I'm not sure. Probably just pass or fail. I don't know.
Uh, but you get to know how much you get right and wrong because,
Do you? I don't know.
yeah, because like there's like talk around one of the rotations I had because like it was the same time that like the attendings had to take their board exam again. Like some of the same ones that were like similar. They were like residents at the same time and whatever, and they're still working there. So they're like, they're like trying to compete with each other to see who could do better on their board exam. So they told us like I think it's just like 70% or something to pass, 70 or 75. I forgot. Like the recertified boards, right? Because you have to take it every 10 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, dude, the guy, he was a Korean attending when he got 99.9%. Like,
Dang.
and, like he showed the residents and then they like screenshotted it and everything. I know.
Like,
I'm like, what the heck? Like he's like, I don't know. That's insane, right? Like obviously they're getting tested on things that they're doing, right?
yeah.
This is internal medicine, so like it probably just knows his stuff, man. I wish I could be. But obviously he practiced for 10 years. He was probably already smart, like going into medical school. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, the exams are no, you're right. Exams are there for a good reason. And if NPs and PAs were to take the same exam, step 1, step 2, I really want to see how they do. Because, oh, dude, I don't know if your wife told you about the PA or is it the exam? But like one of the students that I was rotating with, it was a PA student. He said that like you just take the exam and then if you pass, if you get a percentage right, it just stops and you're done.
All
Is
right.
that right? You know what I mean? Like
You
you
just
don't have
finish.
to
You just
complete the
finish early.
no, like the exam just like says
Yeah.
you're
Just
done, you
stop. It
pass.
won't. You won't show. It won't show you any more questions.
Yeah, isn't that ridiculous? I don't know. I just thought it was funny. So like they should just do that for step 1 because just pass or no pass, right?
yeah. So they just grade you on the spot.
Yeah, it's like oh congratulations, you passed.
Well, the problem with step 1 is they gotta put this experimental question, then they gotta like
Ah, right.
grade you based on the curve and round you up or down, whatever.
So that just tells you how like step 1, like USMLE, like they're really engaged in their question bank and like they're constantly reforming it based on what is the current medicine, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Versus like NPs and all that tests is like literally it just stops. And I just thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let me confirm with my PA friends.
Yeah. I think it was either nursing, maybe it was an NP exam. I don't know. I'm getting confused. But yeah, just thought it was interesting. But yeah, anyways, I think we could wrap it up here. What do you
Sounds
think?
good, man.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in again. Um, make sure you guys follow us and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. And yeah, tune in next time with Medicine and Culture with Tin and On. Bye. Bye.